Take a look at more updates regarding the Ukraine-Russia war. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has said that thousands of Western troops could be deployed as part of security guarantees in a potential peace deal to end the war with Russia. Speaking at a press conference with the European Council President Antonio Costa in western Ukraine, Zelensky said that the number would definitely not be in single digits, but it is still too early to discuss the specifics. Zelensky also announced that the European and the US officials have agreed to meet in the coming days to coordinate sanctions against Russia amidst ongoing efforts to find a path toward peace. Ross, stay on with me. Let's understand. The apprehensions from the European countries, the European allies of Ukraine in solidifying a peace deal between both the countries. They have been demanding stronger sanctions against Russia, but at the same time, the US president has been a little more tapered in his response, a little more restrained in his comments when it comes to finding a resolution to this conflict. Only yesterday he spoke about how he was desirous of a peace deal between both the countries. He also said that there could likely be talks that could happen between both the leaders, the Russian and the US president. How do you see the two countries and their heads of states approaching the Ukraine-Russia conflict?
There's been lots of talk about a bilateral meeting between Putin and Zelensky, or possibly a trilateral with the involvement of President Trump as well. That's been going on for quite a period of time, for many weeks before the Alaska meeting, such as when Ukraine and Russian negotiators met in the weeks before that, and ultimately only made very limited progress with regard to prisoner exchange. So this is not a new talking point. It's not a new talking point for President Trump. He's mentioned this before as well. So the possibility is there, although there's doubts certainly from the Ukrainian side. Again, they don't trust the Russians. And the Russians, they don't look at Zelensky as a legitimate leader, which frankly is a bit of a ridiculous position to take, because he's the duly elected leader of Ukraine. The martial law that has been imposed has prevented what would have been a presidential election in 2024. But Zelensky is still the president. And this is one of those things that Russia ultimately, if they're serious about a ceasefire or a peace agreement, they know they have to negotiate with Zelensky, unless Zelensky were to resign, which is not a likely possibility, but it's not impossible either. Are the two sides ultimately going to meet? I would say it's highly likely, but a lot of it depends on how much President Trump pushes both sides to do that.
Right, absolutely. Ross, thank you very much for joining me on the telecast and sharing your analysis on this developing story. Moving on, the Israeli military said that it would strike a range of